Hi everyone, welcome to today's vlog on health and wellness. So today I'm going to speak about uh, urban life versus suburban life or rural life. I'm sure people who are also living in urban life, most of us maybe some point of time would have stayed in, if not rural, at least suburban life, maybe, which I maybe call or maybe compared to something called tier two city, right? So those of you have shifted, like for myself, I have shifted from a tier 3 city right now, staying in tier 1 city in India. So some of you would have also shifted from, let's say, tier 2 or tier 3 cities to tier 1 city. So you would have probably noticed this kind of little differences, subtle differences between the lifestyle who are in city, from a small city or in suburban place, right? Now there are unique advantages and disadvantages to different staying in different places, right? So let's say when you stay in a city, especially when you have not grown up in a city and then you shifted because of your job or something else, right? Now there are different things which comes to mind when you come to city life, right? In your hometown, if it's a small city, you would have a big house, right, with a veranda in front, right, the place where you can actually can call a corridor kind of a stuff. But if you stay in a big city like Bangalore or Mumbai, you might not have seen that, right? You would have most likely stayed in a flat, so you would not have the luxury to walk in the pavement or veranda, right? So that's something which is a luxury here in a city. Also the kids, I mean, I wonder, in a city, what do they play, what is the ground? I mean, when I go back to my hometown, I usually go for a jogging early morning in the playground, right? The place where I stay right now, actually there's only road and then buildings, that's it. You have apartments, so you don't have much space here to even jog around. So there are, but then still there are, of course, I mean, there are many advantages in city as well. So you see hospitals, markets nearby, so all those things are there. But I think, as I said, you have unique challenges and unique advantages. So in today's vlog, I will discuss, in the next part of the vlog, I'll discuss with my wife what are the unique advantages of a city life versus what are the unique advantages living in a tier 2 or tier 3 city. So stay tuned. Hi Devati, how are you?
Hi, fine.
So how's it going?
Nice.
Nice. All lectures you had?
Yes.
Okay.
The same thing.
Okay, nice. So today our vlog is more about life in a city versus city. When I mean start tier one city, and then we'll talk a bit about tier two city as well, and then maybe a little bit about village life. So for me, I have I think about you the same thing. We have shifted from a tier two, or I think for us it's tier three city to tier one city right now. So I think you would have also noticed there are certain differences between staying in tier 3 city versus staying in tier 1 city. So I understand there are advantages in both, but let's talk about it. What do you think? Which one is good for you? Tier 3 or tier 1?
Actually, it depends on the situation and human persons and personality. Mainly depends on this one. So, for if you want to do any job, any higher studies or any job, or if you want to if you want to grow your career, I think for that the tier one city is most suitable. But it's not actually. You can also. Find your job in tier 2 and like tier 3 city also. Depends. So if you usually do you like what do you like? If you are liking tier 2 city or tier 1 city.
So you will have an option, right?
There is option.
Which I think which was not.
So if you have some qualifications so that you can get job in tier 1 and tier 2, 3, then it's up to you. What kind of the situation and what kind of the city you are.
I understand there are certain advantages in terms of education and career and stuff. Have you seen Life in a Metro movie?
No, I didn't see.
You didn't see? Oh, that's bad. But anyway, so in Life in a Metro, it's talk about people. They mostly the movie name is Life in a Metro, right? So it's like people, they have their own life, busy life, and I don't want to say, but then they have, they're so busy in their personal life that they kind of have their extended life because they spend too much time in the office and they don't get to spend much in the family. So what I realized in city life, I think one of the main things which I noticed, as you said, there are a lot of jobs, of course, in cities, but then that's again, there are a lot of traffic also.
Yes.
If you talk about Bangalore as a city, or I think other cities also, tier one cities, there's a lot of traffic. So actually, let's say you do a job for 8 hours, let's say hypothetically, and then 2 hours going to
Exactly.
office and coming back. So you're actually out 12 hours. So a person being active for 12 hours in a day anyways, and then most of the active hours you spend outside your home,
Yes.
right? So that's where you don't form good connections even with your family, because you don't have much time like to spend with your family. So that is a big issue, I think. So yes, there are a lot of jobs. There's an interesting career out there, but I think nowadays with things like remote jobs or even option to work remotely, things have turned. COVID has done a lot of bad for us, but I think a little bit of good as
So
well.
that's why if you want to stay in relaxed mind and peace mind, then also do have the opportunity in job and in career, then definitely you should prefer that
Okay.
tier 3 city, not tier 2 also.
But then what about someone
But
someone?
education, if you think about the education, it is everywhere in India.
Yeah, I mean now
See, if
you
you
have
go in with any village, every facilities are there for
right,
education.
right. So nowadays you have YouTube, right? I mean you can learn a lot from YouTube, right? So you don't have to
The
depend on.
education is also developing many things for rural and area
Yes,
also.
and also there are a lot of online courses. I mean, a lot of companies, edtech companies also started up in India. So you have a lot of options to learn online as well. So I don't think for education nowadays you have to go to big cities. Your option
For
is to
jobs, sometimes it's required. What
maybe
kind of a
yes,
job you are
yes,
looking for?
yes, yes. So what are the jobs which comes to your mind when you think about a tier two city or a rural area? What do you think most of the people are engaged
If
in?
you want to go to the multinational company, that is not there. So nowadays, it is maybe after 10, 20 years, the same thing will be happen. But if you go to business related and that business and online business and online teaching, this you can do if you want to stay in hilly area or any rural area, any kind of the rural area, I think.
Yeah, so actually, when I shifted to Bangalore, my parents said, "Okay, you're staying in a rented house. Maybe 5 years down the line, you should at least think about buying a flat." I said, "And do you know the expenses of it? It is north of 1 CR or I don't know 1.52 CR. It's very expensive." So actually, what I realized is, if you want to stay in a city for the rest of your life, then only it makes sense to invest in something in
So why do
apartments.
you stay in city? If you are really like the atmosphere, the
Yeah,
thing,
absolutely,
everything,
absolutely.
and if you want to stay alone, or if you want to stay away from your families,
Yes.
then
Yes,
it is
because,
fine.
because I think for both of us, I'm sure you also will agree that we miss a lot, right? I mean, for our parents, what I remember is they used to in the evening, they used to go and stroll around and sit in a shop and have a bit of tea and spend time with friends. But I'm not sure how can you do it here, right? And people are so busy.
Everyone is busy.
Basically, they don't have. I mean, evening time, nobody has, right? People come at home at 8 p.m. Like if they start at 6 p.m. from the workplace, they reach at 8 p.m. What is the evening time?
Yes.
So you don't have an evening time.
After reaching home, they will have
They'll be
the
super
dinner
tired and then
and
they'll have a dinner. That too, I'm not sure how do you have the time to cook? Do you have the energy to cook? You probably depend on your maid to cook
so
for you.
that's why there are many online restaurants that Swiggy. They after reaching home, they will not cook and they will just order the
Online food
somewhere.
and all this pre-cooked food, I think that's okay for the weekends. But if you depend on it for your
Yeah,
rest of
I saw really this kind of the things are also
lifestyle,
going on in
so then you don't.
metro
I
cities.
mean, if somebody thinks to live longer, this is not the right approach, I believe. I mean, this is okay once in a while, but you should cook your own food, right? I mean, that's the healthy way of life. So I think if given option, in my opinion, people should at least, if you have come from a small city, you should at least try to go back. Maybe if not during a job life, maybe in retirement. So if you want to, stay here and if you don't want to stay too long, maybe you should not think about buying a flat or this kind of investments here. That kind of thing will maybe make you stuck to work till 60 or maybe beyond 60. I don't know, you have to find another job to spend those expenses, because city life has its own expenses as well. But yeah, there are advantages, I mean, as you said correctly, right? But whatever, it depends on the people, right? I mean, if the kind of person who like fast-paced life or pubs, nightlife, and all those things, then tier two city is not the right place for you. But again, now when you come to the city, maybe you are just 22 or 23, and just finished your BTech or engineer, whatever study.
But at the end of the age when you will be the
Forget about end of the age, right? 22 you have come.
if you
After
complete
8, 10 years, 7, 8 years,
35.
30, 30 plus 30, and then you don't, I'm
30
not sure.
is still fine, 35.
Yeah, 35, and then you're like, oh man, I don't like this anymore. Because your body also needs some rest. in the weekend, how long you can party? Because the whole week you have traveled, right? And then job, right? So you need some rest. So I'm not sure how much that's gonna you would like it in the long run. So you should make yourself little. You should plan it very carefully how long you wanna stay here, and then you make any kind of investment. So because for me, I'm not sure if I'm here and when my kids are gonna play, right? I don't see a playground nearby. So I'm really worried because the life which I have been, we have actually
We are
went to
not,
playground,
yeah,
playgrounds.
actually supposed not to give this much, that kind of the lifestyle to our child.
I mean that's of course right. I mean see when I was growing up when I was like 10 years or so. Now that's even tier not even tier three. That's a village where I have grown up in the first few years of my life, and there I have done fishing and all those things. We had our own pond.
Yes, yes.
So that kind of like forget it. Nowadays kids only stick to mobiles and entertainment is mobile. So I'm not sure when it is gonna grow that way. So I mean, parents has to take care that they can spend some quality time with their kids at least in the weekends, not much in the weekdays. So that's very important. So I hope these vlogs makes people understand that city life might not be sustainable in the long run. And if you are living in the city, make sure you
For starting in the growth,
Yeah.
then it is fine.
yeah, because traveling is a big issue and the big city, so maybe you can stay near the office, save time and spend time with the family. But yeah, it was nice discussing with you in the last part and maybe give me further conclusion on what kind of lifestyle might suit you. So it depends on what you like. But in general, you should think of different stages of your life as well. You might not like what you like right now, 5 to 10 years down the line. So, yeah.
Yes, yes.
Thanks for your time. Yeah. Oh, hi everyone. So you heard from my wife that what her opinion, because as I said, right, both of us have come from a tier three city to tier one city. So you would have understood that there are certain advantages in tier two, tier three city, and but of course there are certain advantages in tier one city as well. But think very closely why you want to stay in long run of your life. Maybe at least think about after 60. If I understand that a lot of people has to stay here till 60. After retirement you should think where you want to stay. Maybe based on that you should do kind of your investment. But I think one of the very interesting thing which people can nowadays think about staying in a tier 1 city is also suburban places, right? Now which is close to the city. Now what are they? Now why I say suburban place? Because I think nowadays you have something like hybrid mode of working, right? If not remote, there are kind of a hybrid mode of work. So while you don't have to go to travel to office every day, right? So 5 days a week or 6 days you don't have to travel to office. But if not, that is not the case. If that is the case, then you can stay at the suburbs, right? Stay a little bit far away, because if you travel only 2 days, you stay in suburbs. So in that way you have advantages both of a tier 1 or sort of a tier 2 city as well. So because your city is close by, if you have a car, you can just go and visit a hospital or any shopping malls for the weekend as well. So I think suburban area is a very good choice. So if you want to stay longer, maybe you can think of suburban, provided your job allows you to do that. Let's say you don't have remote, but if you have hybrid kind of a work, that's still okay. You can still stay in suburban. But if you stay in a city life, make sure that the best part is try to stay as closer to office as possible. So the traveling time is a big deal here. Maybe you pay a little bit extra money, but I think still it's better to stay closer. If you have to travel every day to office, that's something is an option. So it was nice discussing the entire topic. See all of you in the next blog. Thank you.